Hey, I'm here with Alat Ahmed. He's a landlord. About to ask him a couple questions about being a landlord and a couple challenges he's had being one. So, how long have you been a landlord?
Um, I want to say 1 year now. Kind of inherited it from my father or my parents, so it's been a year.
It's been a year doing it. What is your background? Is being a landlord your full time job?
No, it is not my full time job. I graduated in 2015 from the university. Have held a full time job since then, and this last year took on being a landlord alongside of what I'm doing, which is account management, and business solutions consulting. So I build relationships for a living, which is kind of why um, being a landlord and working with a lot of tenants has been a easy transition.
Nice, nice. Can you tell me about the biggest challenge you've had as a landlord?
So far, the biggest challenge has been inheriting it from my parents that did it a specific way, um, where papers were probably not in order and things were done more on a handshake and orally. So, getting everything on a logistic point of view set up where contracts are being signed, all legalities are taken care of. Um, and the biggest challenge was having the tenants that I inherited already to change the way they are doing things, with whether it's paying rent differently or signing specific contracts and being held to those contracts. So that was the most difficult part, and obviously, as some refused, I had to um, use the law to somewhat evict a tenant, to make sure that everything was in order and prepare uh, myself for an easy process as a landlord.
Okay, great. Is it worth being a landlord?
Is it worth it? Yes. As the son of the original owner, I obviously by the end of the year we'd be able to um, get paid a decent amount of money, from 4 to 5 thousand a month, that my parents and I would be able to take from this, and eventually the investment pays off. So it's good there. Plus, if done correctly, there isn't no day to day maintaining that needs to be done. It's just um, on what we call like a break and fix. When something bad happens, you're able to go in and fix it rather than having to continuously manage it. But as long as you set yourself up from the beginning to be able to do it correctly, it makes it worth it.
Right. So then you're able to just have money coming in every month without doing anything.
Right.
So, last question I have for you: what have you learned so far as being a landlord?
To do your due diligence in terms of your tenants that you have, making sure that you treat the property as if you are going to live in it as well, because as you bring in a family, you want to make sure that they're as comfortable as possible. So once the tenant left that we had evicted, we did a full renovation on the inside to make sure everything was up to code, and really um, construct the home as something a little bit more high end for that area, just so that one, I wanted to be able to raise a rent, and be able to show why, but at the same time, make sure that it's comfortable. Also learned that obviously doing it right, making all the, as I said earlier, making sure all contracts are signed, all the legalities are in intact, so that if there ever is a problem, you don't have to continue to go back and forth. It's just a very streamlined process, which allows me to not have to be a day to day landlord, rather than just oversee it, and it's a lot easier that way to manage when everything is done correctly from the beginning. And of course, surround yourself with the right people. Family helps a lot to obviously help with whether it's construction or finding new tenants, as well as knowing that you have resources out there to help when evictions are needed or construction is needed. And so yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you for your time. That concludes the interview.
All right. Thank you for having me, I guess.